Hello there, it's me again. I guess I have somewhat of an update to do with my quest in understanding more about those shell folder things. And it's kind of funny, you know. I found a header file, it's right here, that defines all those folder ID things in this Reactos form. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is. I know what Doxygen is. This is not. Doxygen is a tool used for used with source control, I guess, for documenting your code. If you, I forget how it works exactly, but if you put certain strings or qualifiers in front of functions and variables and whatnot, then there's a tool that you run and it will automatically make like a help file for you. It would be great if I had the time. I'd probably try and use it. But anyway, it's got the list and it's got all the identifiers, and that was great. So that now I just found this, you see, and the way I found this was by searching through my history. It's really quite funny searching through your history. You get to sort of see, you learn a lot about, one learns about oneself by looking through their history. Now, where do I start looking at that? Okay, CSIDL, right? Lone folder flag. Then up goes the hell of shell, right? And now there's a whole bunch of YouTube, and having not wanting to think about shell anymore. This next thing is beautiful women with colored hair, and then I got hairstyles colored. And now new trending women hairstyles, wallpaper, women purple hair piercings wallpaper. Oh, I was looking for piercings. Women, beautiful women, sexy red hair glasses. But that wasn't my search. It doesn't show what my search is. Where? So, you know, I was trying to just avoid the shell. Go on. Hot women, red hair, women hairstyle. Suicide Girls. Suicide Girls is, I think, actually, I think it's based in my home city of Montreal. The Suicide Girls. They don't commit suicide or anything, it's just this name they've given themselves. But their images often involve nudity, so I can't show you any of that. But they even have a calendar. But you're free to look it up on your own computer. If there are no parental controls, you'll be fine. Okay, now what am I looking for? Awesome beauty eye girl. Now, yeah, I see now. I started getting interested. Blue eyes wallpaper. In this picture, I know I'm not talking about the shell yet, am I? But you gotta know about the image that I'm working on and why I'm working on it at all. The reason I'm working on that image was because I got inspired by another image. I wonder where that is. First, let me show you something. You see this beautiful girl? Well, I have in my wallpapers directory a whole host of beautiful looking ladies, and one of the ones that I like best and that I had nothing to do with whatsoever except for removing a logo because it was so perfect already is, now where is it? Here. Now there was a little logo here. Now I think this is beautiful, and I assume it's probably anime, because of the background, and it could very well be anime. But I found not in there, not in this search, but an earlier search, I found that same picture. Where would it be? Not smoking. It could be in here. So let me just check. So the first natural place for it to go would be here. This is kind of the pit stop. Before, here's a suicide girl. Before being categorized. Now, I found some real doozies. Really beautiful pictures that I don't know what to do with. Well, maybe I should put them in my wallpaper. Okay, could be in here crying. So she was crying. Yeah, there it is. Now, see this? Now, this image, I'm not sure about the size, but it's the same image, and it's black and white. Furthermore, this image does not contain any logo. You see what I'm saying? So, although it can't be proved, I think that's fairly good evidence to suggest that this image was created before the one with the logo. Somebody would add a logo to this. I don't know if somebody would put a logo on a black and white picture, and certainly nobody would take that other picture, remove all the color and the logo, and make this, because it's, and look at this, is that the same? This has been repaired. You see that? I didn't even notice that before. So whoever did this is like a genius in faces and colorizing. I was interested in the colorizing. I never noticed this before. That there's what is that thing anyway? Just odd. Sorry. Is that added? No, it couldn't be added. Who would add such a dumb thing to a picture? So somebody took that image, fixed the mouth, got rid of that weirdo thing, kept the tear. Everything else is identical, but look at the way it's been colorized perfectly. The eyes, everything. The image is the same. This is at actually higher resolution than that. You can't tell because it's been shrunk. It looks like he or she added some dots here, and this blackness has been faded away and improved on. You see, there's this. It looks like a fake eyelash. Someone who wears a fake eyelash, those stick-on things. No. Wait a minute. This hair is going underneath that black thing. I'm not sure anymore, because that looks like somebody just drew that on top. In any event, one's colorized and one's not. And I found this picture that I think is really wonderful, and it's in black and white, and so I thought I wanted to colorize it. Here, black and white to color. This is the original as a JPEG image, right? This is a very, very beautiful young lady, and she has a lot of the features of the other image. The background, well, there's nothing in the background really. I might be able to clip that away easily. So I thought I'd try and do that, colorize it. And you can see I'm looking at I'm almost done with the face. I did the hair. One way I tried making a thing like that, and then I settled for this. What I've done here is, I don't know how long it'll take to load up, but I took the full image. You see, there's two here. Actually, I should start with one of these, because there's information in these. Well, I can drop it in. Once I just started PaintShop Pro. I'll pause this. Okay, I'll start it out there. Let's see this. There's still this leftover bit. You can't see it. Okay, hue and saturation. That was what I discovered gave me this color, I think. Is that on top of, oops, is that on top of that? Yeah. Like I was leaving notes in these things so I could try to recall how I got somewhere. But I think this, I further altered this because it wasn't exactly, I remember it not being exactly right, and then I tried some of these other things, and starting from this point I was able to make what I thought was gold. The whole image is gold, and then what I do is I get rid of that. I took the black and white image, stuck it on top, and just cut out, erased where the hair was. So I took that image and I, wherever I saw hair, I used the eraser, you can see here, to erase out where the hair is, right? And so now her hair is colored. And then I went on to doing the eye. Now, the eye was very difficult, and took much longer than the hair. The hair was easy compared with the eye. Oh, why did I close that thing? Now it looks like nothing when you see it. But I tell you, what I went through to get that eye. Oh, this isn't it. Where's the eye? Don't tell me I've lost it. Well, I have it here in this image. But I had it also in one of these things. It's probably one of these. These things worry me. Suppose I take these, not that. It's one of these back face. No, it couldn't be either. No, you never know. Oops. I may have lost it because there would have been two images, one with the eye and one without it. No. None of these have. What's it preserving for me? Nothing. Alright, anyway, I managed to do it, and thank God I've still got this JPEG. That I could have put it in here by accident. Well, all I gotta do to get the eye back is take this, because I don't want to do it again. It's hard. To make an eye color an eye is a really difficult problem. That's the right side. Okay. Now all I gotta do is I'll just cut it out. First, I'm gonna check something. This thing, okay, so if the only way to turn the feathering off, which applies to the rectangle, is to not have the rectangle selected. Okay. Now, here's another trick with Paint Shop Pro. Maybe I should use black. The only way to be sure. No, one. That is position 0, 0. You gotta put one in every corner. Must be the corner. Okay, there should be a black dot in every corner. Now, I do that and copy this and paste as layer. Instead of it putting the image in the middle, which is not where I want it to remain where it was. It goes where it's supposed to go. And this is the one that I thought I already had. Because the eye is a separate. Now I should be able to turn it on and off. And that's right, it's not moving. Now it's really hard to get, if it doesn't start out perfectly at the circle part, then it's really hard to make it, to bring it back again. Like to do all this anti-aliasing by hand is really difficult. And even this is still not right. It's broken here, but that's not noticeable from a distance. And yeah, there's like to bring the whites out, you have to add like just a little bit of touch of red to it, and that makes it stand out nicely. And notice here in the iris, if you don't put in these little blue splotches here and there, it looks totally fake. Same with this white here. See, it's been bluified slightly. If you don't do that, it looks like a fake. And all these little subtle things you've got to do, and if you don't do them, it's going to look fake. But this doesn't, to me. It looks pretty good. You know, the regular distance, to me, that's an eye. Just like, you know, this person is done. I can't zoom on that. It's my desktop. Okay, so that's the eye and the not this one. Say this one. Oops. So that's the eyes, and then the hair is done. Then I worked on the back, and I don't know if this is correct now, but this one actually was pretty easy. The only hard part was how do you make skin color? What color is skin? And the answer to that question is, at least for Caucasian, for people with, what is it called? I don't know. There's a name for the stuff that the pigment, the stuff that causes your skin to have different colors, and there's a name for that chemical. So for what they call Caucasians or whatever, the color of skin is approximately a kind of pink. Although this looks gold, it also is pretty close to pink, right? And if you look at this one, that definitely, if you didn't know that was skin, you would say pink, right? And I was making colors by using this color channel thing. Here, channel mixer. I don't know why they do it the way they do it. Like, for some reason, somebody thought that a good idea would be to have channels, red, green, and blue, right? If you go to default, default is gray, monochrome, gray monochrome. Well, if I take this monochrome, you can see that that doesn't mean it's gray or monochrome at all, right? There's colors in here. If I apply this thing to this, it doesn't become monochrome. It doesn't become gray, sorry. What they mean by monochrome, I suppose, is that all of the channels, no, I don't know what it means. I see everything is active, everything is adjusting red, green, and blue together. Okay, that's great. So you can have this thing where the three settings, all they do is modify all three colors in exactly the same way. Right? Like if I made this one 100 and this one 0, I should get this. I get the same thing. Okay. Then the next more complicated thing is to have three channels. Red, which can be some combination of red, green, and blue, plus a multiplier. Green, which can be some combination of red, green, and blue, and its own multiplier, and blue. Now, normal setting is red is 100 red, no constant, green has 100 green and no constant, and blue has 100 blue and no constant. But if you wanted to, you could put this to 0, put this to 0, right? And then go to red here, and then you can just use red to now what is this supposed to be doing? Why do I need 3 buttons for red plus this extra thing? You see what I'm saying? It's really dumb. So anyway, the way I use it, it started at monochrome and red. I only concern myself with this and this constant. 100 would mean, I suppose, 100% red, and 0 would be none, right? So now that adjusts the amount, and I think if this constant is, let's say if it's 20, you won't be able to turn it off. Can't. Oh no, there's no red in there. Now here comes some red, a little bit. I don't know. I guess 100 is it doesn't matter what you choose. This is just like an intensity, but it can be helpful if you're trying to find something like skin color. You go, okay, well, skin color is going to be close to yellow, which is red and green. So you go to red, go to green, and then you go to blue, turn off the blue. Okay, now you've got, that's yellow by definition. Now it's obviously not skin color, right? So you might say, okay, well, it seems like skin color is kind of more like a pink. So it's going to have a little bit of blue anyway. So maybe we'll just bump that up to, I don't know, small value. Let's say half, 50. Okay, it's looking a little bit better. That seems too green, so maybe you'd say either adjust this down or use this. So I'll just put this down to 90. Okay, that's looking, doesn't look very pink. It seems like it doesn't have enough red. Now you could adjust red by a fixed amount. Let's say it's always that. Now you see how it's become kind of pink. It's starting to match this. And then you might think, okay, it certainly does look like a pretty good skin. Looks better than the one I got. Pretty good skin tone. Maybe it just needs to have a little bit less green, maybe. One could try it to see if it's that's not the direction you want to go. What if I put it just a little bit down? No, it's becoming yellow. That was good the way it was. So maybe the way to improve that one would be to maybe reduce or increase the blue. To try 30. That doesn't seem right. 80 seems like a little bit better direction. So maybe you could try 55. And just adjust that a little bit. And you're zooming in. You're zeroing in that looks like skin to you, you will note that what it's becoming, that color is starting to look like, is skin. See, look, it's similar, especially here. Now, I didn't know that that was what skin is, but it's pretty easy with that channel mixer to experiment very quickly. And then you can use the other tools to really narrow in on a good color. So I thought I got the skin pretty good. And the hair and the eye. So I got the hair, eye, and back, and now I'm working on the face, which again is another kind of skin color, but I wanted a lighter one. And this is the color I've got. Which again is a skin color type thing. Not her color, a bit paler. I wanted it paler. And I'm not worried about this eye's big. I mean the mouth, the lips and the eye are going to go over top. So I just want to make sure I get all of the face. And even right now, if I could take this image and I could put the three of them together, well, another time. I'm not done yet. Okay, now very quickly onto the code. Now, if you recall, I was looking at these constants, the CS ideal constants, and the old way of looking up the things which used this get special folder path, and I got all mad because they've come up with a new thing, and this doesn't work for everything anymore. Well, one thing I did was I changed the layout of this so it's easier to add a new one. But then I found that header file, which is what caused the diversion. I took the header file and I put it into here, because it's sort of a system file. And I have no clue what they're trying to do here, but what I redefined, they're defined. Known folder is a GUID, and here they're being defined. And I took away the 0x's and stuff so that I can do two things at once. I can define the GUID this way by appending 0x's in front of these numbers and doing it in the right format. Here's the format. And I can also build a string literal for each of these, a thing that never changes, can't be modified. And I put all these in uppercase so that now that's standardized, and my shell function thing that returns, if it returns these things as strings, it'll be in uppercase. So that's good. I made a kind of a standard, at least for these programs. So then I invented this function called getIDList. That would be if you want to get all of the shell folders of a given type. And after looking through the data, I found that I only ever saw 4 of these categories come up. And I have assertions and nothing's gone off. Now do I assert? I can assert it and we'll see if it goes off. I don't think it will. Where's my function? Here. I don't need that. Yes, I do. Less than less than 5, I guess, right? All right, in between. What's going on with my caps lock? It should be in between 1 and 4. Yeah. Well, I do use it. I don't need the ref part. That reference thing is just sometimes you get unreferenced parameter warning whenever if you're only using something for an assertion. But I am using the category as a flag, as a bit mask, the bit in a bit mask instead of the number. So you type in, you can type in combinations of these flags, and it's going to return to you a list of string pairs, the key, name, and the human readable name for the key, just the registry value name. Okay. Now this has never gone off either. Currently, in my unit test, I have all types, but suppose I just say root. Root. There's a bug after. Okay. Now what's good about this thing is that instead of having to go and look at that header file and check, all this, I hate to say it, but it's an improvement over the C. In one sense, it's an improvement over those identifiers. Not for someone using something like this, but for the program. The programmer who can just call this function, it'll give you a list of all of them. Where am I? I'm in that file. I want this. All I do is I call. I make a list of string pairs, and I call this get ID list with some combination of flags. Why is it not building? Hang on. No, I probably started it too soon. Oh, it's because I got this thing. Sorry, it's because I have this other job running. Okay, now if I run this, here's a list of all of the root keys. That means that these are not of the other 3 categories. They're not virtual, they're not child folder IDs, and they're not relative folder IDs. A relative one is one that has, it's category 3, and they all have a thing called relative in the relative folder. One example is profile, I think. User profile is a relative. App data, okay. App data is not in the root category. It's in the relative category. Its value is 4. Those aren't these values. The values are this number plus 1. Okay. So virtuals are 1s, roots are 2s, children are 3, and relative are 4. And app data, local app data, are relative. They didn't come back. in the printout. These are the only ones, and there aren't that many. How many there? 4, 8, 12, about 20. And you probably know what most of these are. Program files x86. That means that that's a root identifier. It's if you consider there's something called the root namespace or something, right? And everything is supposed to be viewed as either an immediate folder underneath there. That's what these are. Or there could be something that's further down the path, or something that's called relative. Oh, relative. I see. Relative would be, I guess, not absolute, right? Okay. So it's not. It doesn't have a fixed name, perhaps. It depends on which user or something. Now these things definitely don't depend on the user. User profiles itself, right? That would be where all the users are. And this is its identifier. Now to get the actual directory, there is no directory. That's just the name of it, right? Well, there is a directory, and if you wanted to find it out, I suppose you'd have to call a function that turns this into a directory, and that function would be in shell 32. I'm pretty sure, because where else could they be? There might be some help in that header file about that. I might delete it. No, they do say something. They give actual paths for certain ones. Operating system, known IP, user profile. But that's just if you want to convert from one OS to another. What if you want to find out what the path is, for your computer? Not what the actual path is, but how would you determine where a particular thing is if it is a path? What function do you call to retrieve that path? I suppose you would have to create an iShell interface and then use one of the functions. There must be a function which takes a folder ID value and usually these things return you like an array of objects, right? And then an object could be a directory type. You see what I'm saying? And there might only be one thing in the array. So in the case of user profiles, right? This is the name, and there's no more information given. I imagine that you could pass this thing into some some shell 32 thing, and it would use that value and return to you an array of items associated or something with user profiles, maybe just one thing, and that item might turn out to be a directory, and I know it is, and then you can say it's a directory. But one thing you could do, if you're like me, is just see if you can find this string in the registry. Maybe it's easier to just figure out how they've stored it in the registry if they have, and if it's not in ROT13 format. Okay. That's going to show up at least once. So at least I know now how to turn any of those identifier words, those words that are coming up on the right, are the words that come up in that user assistant. These are all exactly the same words. I mean, word for word. Some of them say system, some of them say profile, some of them say system x86, some of them say program files, some of them say this, you see. The identifiers are different, but there are two. Whether or not they point to the same thing probably depends on whether or not you have a 64-bit operating system. So I would guess that if you're running 64-bit Windows, then there's a special program files for your 32-bit programs, right? And another regular program files. And notice that for program files common, it's doubled up as well. And probably the same for data, which may not be in root. We could try adding not virtual, whoops. We could try adding relative. Unit test to our search. We'll see if we're going to get more results. Probably get a result faster than this. My God, it's building already. No. Okay, I know I've used a lot of time, sorry. I wanted to tell you about my project. So now this time we got a whole bunch back, way more than the last time. Alright, so these ones, all of these ones are either root or relative, not child. That means they don't have a parent. A relative thing doesn't have a parent, I'm pretty sure of that. What we're looking for, user profiles, yeah. Local app data, personal. Oh, I wanted to find data. If there's an x86 data, I guess not, right? Just program. Makes sense, I guess. Although, personally, I would separate both. If you're going to separate the code, you might as well separate the data as well. I only found that one. That's all. So there's nothing in the registry to say where this is as a path. What you've got to do is you've got to call some shell function, and there are lots that has to do with retrieving the contents of one of these objects. What else was there? Virtual. The virtual ones, I should just do virtuals in fact, so you can see what they are. These are all of the ones that are considered virtual folders. Okay. My computer is a virtual thing. I tried one of these things. I think it was Sync Center because it was listed in this thing. Came up right away. And sure enough, it took me to Sync Center. This is Sync Setup folder. I tried just opening this without the comma. And it just treats it as a directory, and it's not a directory. It's a type of applet. So that's what those things are. This happens to be under Control Panel. See, sync setup. It's Control Panel something Sync Center sync setup, and that is a virtual. Came up in the list of virtual folders. Sync Setup folder. Search Home, Internet, Mappy, Games, I don't know why, Users, Files, Connections, Home Group, obviously, Sync Center, Results, and you can look up, all of these have one of those parsing names, and Explorer knows how to deal with a parsing name, and I should figure out how to do it too. Network Places. So yeah, my computer happens to be this, and its parsing folder is the one we found last time, and it does take you to the My Computer virtual folder. So you can see it's quite easy, at least now, to enumerate them and to get them back. The only thing that I don't know how to do is to turn one of those root folders into a path, but you don't actually need the path. If you're gonna dive in with the COM and everything, you don't need the path. You just pass that identifier into a shell, an I shell interface, and you call a special function called enum this or that, and it returns you a list of imalloc object interfaces, and then you can look at that list of things and determine what their properties are without ever knowing where they are. And that is the goal, I guess, of this making everything abstract, is that you don't need to know where anything is, except that, for me anyway, if I don't know where the things are, then I don't know what to expect, Like I expect when I copy a file here or there that something should get logged in this file, and I like it's great that you can have this all virtualized, but you need a model, a working model, and I'd like to determine what that working model is, at least on my system, so that I can see that the thing's working and how it's working and where everything's stored and whatnot. Anyway, so it's not really much progress, is it? But for me, it's a step in the right direction. I can at least determine up to that root thing what something is, what category it falls under. I think we'll see. All right, see you later.